policing, making sure that it stays, I guess, safe, but then also is in good repair, and so basically the state allows you to charge for being in the right of way, and so we charge what the state allows us to do, and we enter into agreements so that if something happens and companies have to either repair their cable so they can get cable to their customers, there's in writing exactly what the expectations are of each party, and how things have to be repaired and brought back in. And then in the event that companies don't want to be here anymore, it has kind of the exit strategy for them and what they're supposed to do to remove infrastructure and stuff like that. So those are currently in place. They've been in place for several years, and we just wanted to extend that exact same deal for another 3 years, for a couple of reasons. One is the industry arguably is changing, and so we didn't want to make it really long. We could make it 10 years or 12 years or whatever, but the first strategy, what 3 years is about, is Direct Link, or I should say Canbytel doing business as Direct Link, also has a telephone franchise component, and it is up in 3 years, and so that gives us an opportunity to revisit with them and renegotiate if we need to at that time. So it will allow us to kind of be a little more efficient with our negotiations. It gives us 2 reasons to come back to the table 3 years from now, and then the strategy with that is if there's any changes in the industry at that time, then we want to be able to equitably apply those to their competitor, Wave, and treat everybody exactly the same, because that's what we have to do in franchise law. So the idea is come back 3 years from now when we are going to be negotiating their other franchise with us. At that time, if there's changes in the industry that need to be addressed, we'll do that, and then also we'll be able to treat Wave exactly the same as Direct Link. So that was the city's reasoning, and we do give the recommendation of extending these for 3 years.
So currently, Joe, in terms of what we're addressing here, is the cable aspect for both Wave and Direct Link.
Yeah, cable only.
Extending them both to then coincide with, so the cable and phone all coincide together. We're doing this in one foul swoop conversation for
as
both
far as
cases.
Timelines.
Okay. And nothing's changing in terms of.
Yeah, it's just extending the current contracts out 3 years. Yeah.
I have a question. So I understand that this will make Canby telephones coincide, but Wave does this make their do we have an internet franchise agreement with them separate that would?
No, the deal with the internet is it's a little complicated. There's an Internet Freedom Act, and so it cannot be taxed. And so services that come over the cable that we encapsulate the gross revenues from are television, basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
And so that's changing and evolving a bit now too, because of the way internet and TV are kind of colliding. And I'm not sure the Internet Freedom Act was set to sunset a time back, I think in 2014, but it didn't. I think they extended another 10 years. So there's all these kind of future moments where perhaps we'll be able to encapsulate that. Maybe, maybe not.
So we have 2 separate franchise agreements with Canby Telecom and 1 with Wave.
Yes.
Okay, right. Thanks. That's what I was really asking.
Yeah, Wave doesn't do hardline telephone. Okay. Yeah, voice over IP, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to...
What's that? I know, Paul. Let's not open that can tonight, shall we?
I wanted to, as the council geek, I wanted to compliment our city attorney on the cleverness of the timing. This really is good, Joe, to do a short duration, time them all to come up at once, because the landscape's going to change in 3 years, legislative and technology. It's just a great chance, I think, for everybody to look holistically at what it looks like, come up with a good, equitable agreement that works for all the parties. So kudos.
Well, thank you.
That's good. Yeah, I remember when I first got on council, I remember how things were staggered, and it was just really tough to to keep things fair and equitable and address technology. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I'd move to adopt Resolution 1269, a resolution amending the cable television franchise agreement between the City of Canby and Canby Telephone Association doing business as Direct Link.
Second.
Thank you.
There one's fine.
Motion's been made by Council President Dale and seconded by Councilor Spoon to approve Resolution 1269, amending the cable television franchise agreement between the City of Canby and Canby Telephone Association doing business as Direct Link. Any other questions or conversation? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That carries 5-0.
Likewise, Mr. Mayor, for Resolution 1270, a resolution amending the cable television franchise agreement between the City of Canby and Wave Division 7 Limited Liability Corporation doing business as Wave Broadband.
Second.
Motion's been made by Council President Dale and seconded by Councilor Height to approve Resolution 120, amending the cable television franchise agreement between the City of Canby and Wave Division 7 LLC doing business as Wave Broadband. Any questions or discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Carries 5-0. Thank you. And last but not least.
The last item we have is Ordinance 1461. This is before you for second reading. This is authorizing a contract with Eagle Elsner, Inc. in the amount of $886,688 with the authorization to expand the scope to an amount not to exceed $950,000 for construction of the 2017 street resurfacing program and declaring an emergency.
All right.
So this is, again, up for second reading. So last meeting, we had conversation, put out to bid our road maintenance piece for this summer. I think all that came back were 2 bids. And so we are looking at almost $1 million of road construction and repaving that we're going to do this summer in Canby. So any other questions or comments on that piece at all?
And I had asked you to act as declare this an emergency because we may have an opportunity to bring our contractor in as early as tomorrow to start working on the paving program. And if we're not successful, it'll probably kick it back to the end of August or September. So we're hoping that we can get him in early.
Perfect.
Good timing.
I'll take a motion, please.
All right. I move that we adopt Ordinance 1461, authorizing contract with Eagle Elsner Incorporated in the amount of $886,688 with authorization to expand the scope to an amount not to exceed $950,000 for construction of the 2017 street resurfacing program and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Thank you. Motion has been made by Councilor Height and seconded by Council President Dale to approve Ordinance 1461, authorizing contract with Eagle Elsner, Inc. in the amount of $886,688 with authorization to expand the scope to an amount not to exceed $950,000 for construction of the 2017 street resurfacing program and declaring an emergency with a roll call vote.
Councilor Smith?
Aye.
Councilor Parker?
Aye.
Councilor Dale?
Aye.
Councilor Height?
Aye.
Councilor Spoon?
Aye.
Great. Motion passes 5-0. Next up, new business is the cancellation of the July 5th City Council meeting. July 4th falls on Tuesday the 4th. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
And then, obviously, so the 5th is on a Wednesday, and we don't have I don't think we have anything on the agenda right now. I'm sure if you guys want to meet, I can meet with Kim and we can pack it.
Oh, that would be okay.
So, you did tell me that, thank you. So, we are seeing head nods. Consensus says that we are not having the meeting for the 5th, Kim.
No objection there.
Great. City Administrator, business and staff reports.
Just real quickly, I did have an opportunity to review and ultimately sign the South Ivy Intergovernmental Agreement between ODOT, the Clackamas County, and the city for the reconstruction of South Ivy from Highway 99 to a point just before 13th. That'll include sidewalks and new storm system, and will also include a stop light at Township and South Ivy. That's something we're very excited about. Also am in continuing discussions with Clackamas County about the transfer of a portion of South First Street that is currently under county ownership and control between 13th and the city boundary to the south to city ownership. It's an opportunity for us to make a tiny bit of headway into beginning to move county roads into the city system. This particular road is about in the best shape of any that the county has. It does have sidewalks all the way on one side and partially on the other side, and we think it's a good opportunity to begin this process over the next several years of bringing in whatever roads we're able to into the city system, developing a strategy for maintaining and improving them, and then hopefully over an 8 to 10 year period we can bring at least most of the streets in.
Good news.
Very good.
And Rick, and I meant to bring this up under mayor's business, but since we're on your time, do we have any update, please, dear Lord, on 99E and the bridge between us and Barlow? Because we are now, I think, in year 2 of the fiasco that is
We
that bridge.
We did receive an inquiry / soft notice to us from an ODOT rep that they were planning to do repairs to the bridge surface this summer. They did assure us that they would, and in accomplishing that, they have told us that they have to shut down one lane or both lanes on one side and redirect traffic around town and enter back in on the back side on South Ivy. So they're looking at redirecting traffic. I did suggest that it might make more sense to just turn, because we have a median between the eastbound and westbound traffic, to have cones and have eastbound and westbound traffic continue on one side, but haven't had any success in convincing them that's a better strategy. So the ODOT representatives have indicated an interest and an intent to repair the bridge, but I have not heard back from them. I think the last conversation I had was probably between 2 and 3 months ago. So yes, but I'm not sure when.
No, I know the answer, and I knew that. I just wanted that
It's frustrating.
memorialized on film, I guess.
Yeah.
It is a little ridiculous.
We continue to try, and we continue to try to get ODOT, as they're planning this, to select a route that's going to be the least disruptive to the residents of the community. One thing that they did acknowledge is that they couldn't do the repairs while school was still in session because of the disaster it would have created on both on 99 within the city limits, and particularly on South Ivy coming back into town if they ran that Barlow and sweep around to South Ivy and back into town again. So that's the latest, and it's a couple months old as far as the news.
Thank you, sir. Next opportunity for citizen input. Would the remaining 2 citizens like to provide input? Seeing none. Action review, Kim.
You have approved the consent agenda. You've adopted resolutions 1264, 1265, 1266, 1267, 1268, 1269, 1270, and ordinance 1461, and staff will cancel the July 5th city council meeting.
Great. Thank you, Kim. Joe, is there an exec session tonight?
There's not.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for your hard work this evening and the budget and getting us to this point. We now have funds to turn over the new fiscal calendar and run another year. Thank you to staff for making that happen. Not an easy feat. So I will take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you again. All those in favor? Aye. Good night, Camby. Thank you. Have a great evening.
So no government shutdown here in Canby, huh? State of Washington, we're not so sure. Oh, turn off the mic.
Well, state of Oregon, we're not sure yet.
Well, I have more faith in Oregon.
Yeah, here.
Tim, Brian, do you guys have a minute? I've got a conflict possibly with the meeting.
Yes. Yes, yes. We have time.